All right,
And
here we
here we are.
go. We
Here
have.
we go.
All right, we
Here
have.
we go. Oh,
This is
okay.
Duckthorn. This is basically a Nesthorn reskin. We have
That's right.
Maor247 on the left-hand side in that Iron Hand bomber.
That's right. And on the top right, well, I guess it's just center right this time, we have Makuo in that Natasha angel. It's a festive angel. Very nice.
Now, one of
And
the
he's going to open right up.
key differences between this and regular Nesthorn is that there are now multiple paths through mid. This really opens up the map a lot. You can push through mid from either outpost is basically how it boils down. But
That's
mid
right.
has also gotten a little bit wider, so that means, oh, if Mayor's not careful, he might get killed here.
Then again, Makuo is also very low and could go down himself.
But mid is a little bit wider. You can push top through top. You can push bottom through bottom without really having to capture the mid outpost. So it gives you essentially 2 or 3 options.
That is correct, and that does give you much more counterplay than the original Nesthorn, which was one of the slowest maps in the game. As we see Maor up in the top lane is going to be immediately cheesing and successfully securing that outpost as Makuo just scouts out what's going on to find that his outpost has been taken while he was away.
Now that Mayor has the successful cheese, he's queuing up rebels at that close, and he's got a pretty sizable force of rebels at his own close as well.
That is absolutely correct, and that doesn't bode entirely well for him.
Makuo is
As once
sticking with a
again,
mostly Sam composition. That's an interesting choice considering that he's already scouted this mostly rebel composition. If their
not to
armies
mention he's up against a bomber which could kill all those Sams in 2 auto attacks.
if their armies ever meet, I feel like this Sam heavy build is just going to get wiped out.
That's right, because each of those rebels has a tiny little machine gun on top that's very effective at shredding Sams. And once again, it's a bomber. Sams are not going to last against the bomber, and unfortunately the Angel just isn't that effective
Mayor just using
against
that Mantis
rebels.
Strike charge to improve his armor and just take shots to keep his rebels alive.
And it looks like these rebels are going to do some serious work, if not finishing
Ooh,
it.
the Sams wiping out the bomber, strangely
And
enough.
maybe that
So
was planned the entire time. Now Makuo needs to start body blocking.
now the Sams are
There's
cleaning up house, but those rebels just put in so much damage on that fort corner.
That's right.
Meanwhile, Mayor is just going to keep building more rebels, and so
However,
Makuo.
it looks like Makuo is pushing out to reclaim the motherland.
But Sams are not fast. There are many things, but fast is not one of them.
However, they will go along well enough. And there are not very many rebels left, as Maor is already building at his bottom outpost, and presumably giving up that top outpost almost for lost,
But he's
as
not
he
going to
takes
take
an
it down
enormous
without a
amount
fight.
of damage.
He's just dropping bomber bombs on those
And
Sams.
he is
Kills
also
maybe
dropping his
15.
own health bar and dying.
He does go down, but he took out so many Sams. Strangely enough, the upkeep is still 2-1 in Makuo's favor. Uh,
That's right. However, all of that upkeep is in a position where it's ready to push. And Makuo is one-shotting these rebels.
Mayora's only asset right now is this rebel pile, and if he's not careful, he's going to start losing them.
That's right, as he goes down low, is forced to retreat a bit himself, is just really on the ropes here as Makuo once again heads back to heal up and go for another sniping run.
Now, Mantis Strike has been reworked in recent memory. It now costs a little bit of energy to hold that charge, so he can't just park there in front indefinitely. What Makuo can do is when he's trying to snipe, just wait for Mayor to run out of energy and then start picking off more rebels.
That is right. However, if Makuo keeps building Sams and leaving them just laying around, well, that's free experience for Makuo and negative credits.
So
As
Mayor,
Makuo doesn't have quite the damage to one-shot those rebels, or to two-shot them rather,
he's
so
going
it's
to need
going
to
to be
hit level
difficult.
7 or 8 before he can really one-shot them, even with the
That's
railgun.
right. Well, with Hyper Rail, it should be easy enough for him to put 2 shots down and finish them off fairly quickly.
The rebels just have so much health.
That is true. However, Makuo is getting a push ready.
He's got a V-path laid down. It looks like he's trying to take these rebels to the north side, but that is scouted. We'll see what Makuo tries to do about that. Now, strangely enough, his army is also on the north side, but now I guess he's going to push it south, thinking that those rebels... Oh my. Well, that was a
What is
misread,
going
if
on
ever I've
here?
seen one. So Makuo scouted the rebels, saw that they were pushing, didn't realize that they were pushing on a V-path north, and is trying to maneuver his army south to intercept, is now noticing that they're not there, realizes
And
something's
may
fishy.
have some complications.
He's 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 thinking to himself right now, where are the rebels? I've lost them.
Where could they possibly have gone?
Well, they're sitting in one giant clump here on the top. If only Makuo had bombs, he could potentially use the artillery, but since this top path is the creep path for Maor, they would get pinged down over time, and he can't really sustain that damage.
That is right, they simply would not last. And Makuo sitting idly over his units, perhaps planning something.
Plotting.
But what does he plot?
Mayor just going for some more harass. He's going to sit back, build more rebels, and use his bomber to really get some harass off, try and neutralize an outpost and capture it if he can. Presumably
Well,
to build more rebels closer to the fort.
That's right, and once again, Makuo is the one who would be more comfortable with that base race situation because of the huge disparity in base health. And now that he owns this outpost, he might be able to start building on it.
Neither player seems to care at all about, mid. Normally, Nestor and
Who needs
Duckhorn
mid? Come on.
tends to be a pretty mid-centric map, and on this map they're just like, you know what, I'm happy with what I got. I don't need to push. But
Pretty
Makuo
much what's happening here.
finally hits unit cap and decides that something's got to give. Mayor taking advantage of this opportunity and just port dropping with rebels.
And it's
Got him on the
possible
corner.
that what gives is going to be this the corners of this outpost as it ticks ever lower. And Makuo, instead of body blocking, is sniping, still level 5.
Also, unfortunately for Makuo, his entire army is pathing through Maor's strength, and they're going single file. This whole
And they are
column
going
is going to
to
get
butchered.
annihilated.
And that is most likely the end of it for Makuo.
That's
Maor
a
can
death
just send
sentence
out
right
that
there.
massive push and
Oh.
heal that tiny bit of remaining health.
Oh, the carnage. Oh, that hurts.
Absolute massacre. It's all over, folks.
That's... Ooh. Ooh. That significantly dampens Makuo's chances of pulling out a win here.
If by significantly you mean utterly, then you would be correct. As Makuo desperately does try to build up some rebels at the base to stave off the inevitable.
But Mayor going to
However-
neutralize this post as his rebels come through. Turns out he didn't push Y after all. He's just trying to capture the post and solidify his hold on it. Also
And
capturing
at this
mid
point,
while
he
he's
is
at
only
it.
one outpost away from domination.
Now, it would be really interesting if we saw some play with, say, Turtle or Buster, something that has really strong armor that can tank those rebel shots to be
That's
used as a
right.
body blocker.
Well, now that Mako's got level 7, he can essentially just 1 or 2 shot those rebels, so he's going to be able to do some decent chip damage. But it looks like Maor is going to just go for that final outpost.
When in doubt, wait it out.
That is right, and in this case, domination damage should prove an effective enough incentive to get Makuo to do something stupid.
Also, taking this last outpost does force Makuo's upkeep even lower, so that if
That
he
is
wanted
right.
to, he couldn't build any defenses right now.
Absolutely correct. And now Maor is just going to try to drive Makuo off the post before he can get it neutralized to ensure that domination damage does happen. Is it just me, or is there no domination countdown?
There is an imminent danger
Okay.
countdown.
There we are. It does not show when I'm looking at Maor, that is why. And there we go. Domination damage is starting with maybe 4 or 5 ticks of domination hits left on Makuo's base. It is not looking good for him.
So Maor probably isn't even going to bother pushing this. He's just going to wait.
That's right, and by waiting, he is going to secure a pretty easy win here.
Makuo trying to pull off some sort of neutralizer, maybe a little bit of fort damage, but it's just not going to work.
And that is going to be it with literally 1 health left in the box, and there is the game.
So that is game 1 of the finals. We'll
That's
move on to
correct.
game 2 of the bronze match.
Indeed.